Is your art practice killing your passion? Do you feel like technical studies, like box rotations, are boring you to absolute burnout? It's okay, you're not alone. When I was researching my last video on how to draw anything, I saw dozens of threads from students who have completely quit art because of these types of fundamental exercises. Not just from making boxes in perspective, but those sorts of studies really do burn out people from making art, full stop. As an art teacher and somebody who has an entire YouTube channel based on inspiring other people and teaching these fundamental skills, I find that very boring. Even when knowing how beneficial those sorts of fundamental art skill practice sessions are. I've never hit the so-called artist's block with these studies, but that's because I've always been doing them the wrong way. A way that honestly used to upset and really annoy my teachers. From my own experience, I know that you can do technical studies and create art that you enjoy at the same time. These aren't mutually exclusive concepts. Now, this will require a little bit of rule-breaking anarchist attitude, but I think that's fine because you're studying to become an artist. Breaking rules and showing others what is outside of the boxes society puts us in is literally the entire job, and the reason why we go through this trouble in the first place. So here's how I've gotten into trouble in almost every school I've been in, and these are the types of situations you will end up also if you follow this advice. In an art class, when a teacher gives a simple technical exercise, like paint your sketchbook, most students become a human camera, slavishly replicating the object. But the anarchist in me hears something completely different. I'm not here to do a photograph the slow way. I'm here to make art, damn it, to create something meaningful, at least for me. Paint your sketchbook is just the modifier for me. The real exercise is always, and I do mean always, make art. Here's what that looks like in practice. In my recent sketch club session, we were doing spheres and blobs with contour lines in perspective. Very technical, very boring, right? But slowly, the blobs started turning into simple round characters with eyes and ears and all kinds of features that turned them into characters. We were still doing contour lines, still learning, but isn't this way more fun than an abstract blob to make? This is editor Mikko interjecting a little bit. As I was compiling this footage for this video and I was recording this live stream, I couldn't help but notice just how ridiculously happy I looked during this entire live stream. I mean, look at me. I'm so happy because I knew that at the end of this live stream, as I was doing the notebook exercise, that it tells a story. It's melancholic, it's lonely, it's moody, and I was so happy that it was coming together that way. And I just thought that that's a perfect example of how this way of painting can transform even the most boring art exercises. As an art teacher, I have to take some accountability here. I have to be honest that we don't always make this type of disobedience the easiest for the students. Sometimes the assignments seem like they're specifically designed to hammer out any possible creativity from the work, as if being creative while you practice has to be at the cost of learning technical skills. But here's where I want you to pay extra attention, because this is where the rule breaker way of tackling art assignments really counts. Not just for learning one single skill, but for your entire art career in the future. Creativity is a skill you have to practice. Idea generation, storytelling, visual problem solving, these aren't things you're just born with. I still meet people who think that they can grind out their 10,000 hours of technical studies, box rotations, Loomis heads, anatomy, and then suddenly switch on their artist mode and create meaningful work. With all due love and respect, and I do care about you, otherwise I wouldn't be even making this video to begin with, that is a dangerous assumption. Do not treat creativity and problem-solving skills as something that you already have if you haven't practiced those skills. Look at any concept artist's early work to see how boring it is. I mean, my work definitely was so boring in the beginning. I made dragons and knights and spaceships that were saying absolutely nothing because I thought those subjects would be somehow inherently cool. They're not. They can be cool and interesting, but not the way that back in the day I was seeing and creating them. All those technical skills need to be paired with the most important skill of all, emotional bravery. Art isn't just self-expression, it's self-discovery. And if you wait to get to that part only after you're done with your art studies, you won't have a voice to speak with when it's time to create something that is meaningful to you. What makes this problem more prevalent in today's society is that there's plenty of garbage advice online for creatives that say, just be yourself. I have a huge problem with this advice. Do you know how hard it is to be yourself online, especially today? I don't think that comes naturally to anyone, and not practicing it means not being good at it. And not being yourself means that your art doesn't connect with you either when you're making it. So that's why it's a skill worth developing. So to make this practical, here's what you should be paying attention to when an art assignment feels like it's sucking the creativity out of you. At that moment, your number one task is not to just grind through it. Your task is to find your angle. Ask yourself, how can I make this enjoyable? How can I make this important to me? Also, look for loopholes in the assignment. Did they specifically ban you to use colors? Do you have to do it on a square paper? Can it also have other subjects in with the main subject that you were assigned? Can you add lighting? All of these things can be tools that you can create art that speaks your language, that is something that you can get excited about. I don't know what that is for you, but identifying how art can be something that you can get excited about means that you can find that angle that is in your voice more easily, and even these boring art exercises can feel more exciting to you once you start applying it to every art assignment that you make. Because if you don't care about the work, why should anyone else? Your whole job as a creative is to find that angle. It can be hard, but it is never impossible. For example, in this color tutorial, you see me painting these lemons with an invented light source. You could learn this exact same technical skill by just shading an abstract sphere. But what's the point in that? Turning it into a still life isn't that much more work for me, but it can create mood. It can tell a story and develop my own composition and detail grouping skills at the same time. Those are skills that I feel passionate about, and that makes the entire practice more meaningful to me. It makes it fun. Now I'm going to be honest here. When I was making that video, I felt really passionate about teaching that important blending technique, but to visualize it, I needed to make all these technical motion graphics with shaded abstract balls, and I literally wanted to do anything else than those. But that just goes to show how much I absolutely detest making these technical things that don't excite me and have no meaning in them. This was painted in one of the sketch club sessions on this channel. And if you want to join those sessions and do the art assignments, you can join the membership by joining this channel. You can also share your art on our Discord channel and ask me questions there. Another harmful thing that art teachers hammer into students is that you're not supposed to skip steps ever. You're not supposed to go into more evolved phases of any kind of skill before you're ready. I think doing the exercises is essential, but sometimes it's good to test your skills to see where they currently take you. It's like resistance training. If you never up the weight, how do you expect to get stronger? I've been doing these planes of the head exercises that might seem tedious, but I like painting light, so instead of line work, I mostly do them by painting. That way, I get to do something that has mood in it too. However, I think it's completely fine to do full faces every now and then to see where that practice takes me. Even though I am not at that level yet, But it's just important to go into that deeper end of the pool and check if I can swim yet. By pushing your technical skills and your ideas in the direction that pulls you, you'll be able to make way more art and practice the actual techniques you will need to bring them into reality. I don't want anyone listening to this think that I'm somehow against technical practice. That's not what I'm saying. It can be frustrating later on if you can't put a finger on the element in your piece that's not working. That's where those technical skills will carry you forward. But it's just as dangerous not to practice the other skills: visual problem solving, creating mood, storytelling, reaching beyond your current skill level into areas that you want to go. You can do all that while still training the most important skill of all: your emotional bravery. The thing that makes your art, because that's what we need. We don't need more pictures. These strategies will transform your art practice, making every session more enjoyable and turning them into opportunities for making art. You're here, so I know you already started to learn art. So the next thing you need to do is go watch this video, do that art assignment, and find your angle in how to do that art assignment. I'm Mikko, and I'll see you in the next one. Go annoy those art teachers of yours.